Of all the fraudsters and the liars and the grifters and the charlatans and the self-proclaimed prophets of God who have set themselves up around Donald Trump to herald his godlike nature, Shane Vaughn is that. This guy from Louisiana who has been convicted of fraud, from insurance fraud or something. He's just one of the worst of the worst. He has said, yes, I worship Donald Trump. If that's a sin, yes, I'm guilty of it. He's just an abject, stupid guy, but a charlatan and a grifter who presides over a congregation of the faithful, people who look up to this man. He is also a political commentator, live streamer, I guess. And he, in this clip I'm getting ready to play for you, is stating very, very confidently, as most of the grifter charlatan class do, that judges who rule against Donald Trump should be convicted of treason. Now, if you extrapolate this out, oftentimes these conservative morons, they will attach also one of the penalties for treason, but really very rarely is it actually administered, but it is death. So judges who rule against Donald Trump in the eyes of these conservative morons should be put to death after being convicted of treason. Watch this.
We had a rogue judge, a rogue criminal that should be put in prison for treason. These judges are committing treason against the legitimate authority of the president. Another judge told President Trump they had to rehire all 16,000 of these probationary federal workers. However, as soon as it got to the Supreme Court, we found some sanity, and that was overruled, just like I told you it would be. So now, in 2 days, President Trump has 2 Supreme Court rulings that have released him to fulfill his agenda. Now, what I want to show you, if I may, is those that stood against his agenda. And here's a picture of all of them. There they are. There they are. All of the dissenters on both rulings. There they are. The Jezebel Army. There they are. You know, the Word of God says that a nation is under a curse when women are ruling the nation. And if you'll look at that picture, it'll make sense to you. All of the male judges ruled in favor of the law of the land, the Alien Enemies Act. But these 4 women voted by their emotions rather than the law.
What a fucking simpleton. All of the male judges ruled in favor of Donald Trump. Let's talk about the photos that he wants to put up. The photos of Amy Coney Barrett, who he wants imprisoned for treason because they ruled against Donald Trump as part of their constitutionally mandated role as jurists on the Supreme Court. We'll talk about photos in a second, but let's go back and show the photos of him. What kind of a person surrounds themselves with photos of themselves? The only other person, and I'm not even talking about the photo of him and his wife behind him. I'm talking about up on the wall behind him, just pictures of him in his office. Cool, bro. The only rivaled by the bobbleheads of Donald Trump and images of Donald Trump, his actual God, his actual worshipful, the object of his adoration and worship. These people are weird and shameless, and it is bastardizing his own faith. If that's not idolatry, I don't know what is. And then lying about scriptures. In 1 Timothy or wherever it is, when Paul wrote about women. It was about the church. The way I understand it, and I certainly know more about the Bible than this dipshit does, it's about positions of authority within the church. It has nothing to do with the government. But in order to make it make sense in his white Christian nationalist worldview to justify the actions of Donald Trump, he needs to paint it to his army of lemmings, his army of low information rubes who listen to him as any kind of an authority. The only thing this guy's an authority on is how to steal from little old ladies, how to drive around in a $100,000 Cadillac Escalade with his Cadillac seatbelt, chest warmer, while claiming to be a spokesperson, a conduit of information from God, the creator of the universe. This is the world Donald Trump has ushered in. He has given these people outsized influence, given them credibility from the low information rubes who watch Fox News, and when that's not enough, they go to Newsmax, and when that's not enough, they find Shane Vaughn to listen to. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. I grew up in this faith, by the way. I grew up this kind of evangelical Christian nationalist. This is how I was raised. I know these people. That's why I loathe these people. Comment below or call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. You know what I'd love? I'd love for one of the adherents of his particular church to get at me in the comments or send me a voicemail. We could have a little dialogue about how Toto is correct or incorrect. Even Shane Vaughn himself. That would be fantastic. You hear that, Shane? I know you watch. I know you watch, brother. Anyway, if you want to help support this work, support this channel, help me grow this operation, you can click the join button below for $2 a month. I'd appreciate not if you're on a fixed income, not if it's money that you can't just throw away, but if there's $2 that you wouldn't mind just sliding out the door when you open it or take a turn too quick, I would appreciate you helping support the work. Click the join button below, become a channel member, or go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. $2 a month. I'd appreciate it very much. I'll see you next time. As always, be genuine. Take care of one another.